Hello, happy folks, and happiest of days to each of you folks. I hope you guys are having just an absolutely amazing day today for you folks. So today I'm doing my Serial Saturday. In serials, I like to do this to do a throwback storytelling genres of movies and TV stories, sellings that heavily influenced our media today, but we just don't typically know about them and that sort of thing. It's kind of this forgotten art of how to tell them. And that sort of thing. So we're doing the Zorro series. This is the fourth Serial Zorro. It's called Son of Zorro from 47. This, like I mentioned before, this is the fourth Zorro serial with a weird, oddly, 13 parts, but still just 3 hours like the previous one. This stars George Turner as Jeffrey Stewart, who is Zorro, and then Peggy Stewart is Kate Wells here. For you folks, Roy Barcroft is Boyd. We also have here Ed Harris as Sheriff Moody. And then Ernie Adams is starring as Judge Hyde. For you folks, it's directed by two people, Spencer Gordon Bennett and Fred C. Bannon. And it's written by Franklin, Adrian, Basil, Dickey, Jesse, Duffy, and Sol Shore. For you folks, so Sol Shore was somebody who was in the Communist Party early on in his life. He actually testified and named names in the Red Scare. Just a heads up. Number 7. So this basically plot here is taking place in an unknown state. After the Civil War has happened, and our main character was a lawyer for the folks, and he was now fighting in the army. Now he's come back, and that sort of thing. And now one of the things that has happened in his town is that while all the good soldiers were out, the ones behind, unfortunately, voted in corrupt politicians, and that sort of thing. And then and they have paid people off that weren't voted in, like the sheriff and that sort of a thing. So now our main character comes back and that sort of thing. He's actually literally, as the title is, the Son of Zorro, but he doesn't believe that now in a modern America that a Zorro, a vigilante, is needed because of truth and justice and that sort of thing. But then everybody tells him that, because of the corrupt politicians that got voted in the office and they're banging off the sheriff, that this is needed, so he'll don the sheriff. He'll tell him the Zorro costume. I don't really think this is that strong, sorry. It's fast, sure. 3 hours, very strong stuff. But it's not great. It doesn't have great sets. You can definitely tell it doesn't have more costumes. Didn't spend a lot of their money. It uses action scenes from the previous one, which was Zorro's Black Whip, if I recall. And it had a female protagonist, which I loved. And that sort of thing. But it's clearly not the same person, even though they're using some of the same scenes from. It's got an overused clip show very early on. It's got some serial stuff. The fights aren't exactly the best in the world either, so I'm only giving this a 5 out of 10. Sorry for that, folks, but there you are. Have you seen this? And then let me know what your thoughts are in the comments below, and if you agree or disagree with my 5 out of 10 too. All right, and there you are. As a reminder, I'm not somebody who was trained in film criticism, right? I didn't study that, and I don't make films for a living either. And that sort of thing, so just as a heads up. So that means that your opinion will be just as valid, right, as mine is. That sort of thing. So check it out, and that sort of thing. Now, like I mentioned before, this stuff heavily influenced our modern stuff, and it sold out theaters in major ways too. So let's talk a little bit more about that. So for example, you would not go just to one movie that you were interested in seeing and then see a few trailers and then head home. First of all, back then, they didn't have that many trailers and that sort of thing, so you wouldn't worry about that. Second of all, you did have some shorts, but they typically weren't trailers for other films. You would see things like cartoons or newsreels that were all short stuff too. And then you would go in for a few hours, like maybe a half day or so sometimes, and then you would be there. You see a few shorts, then the first movie, the A picture, then a serial, and head to intermission for like half an hour. And then while you're in intermission, you typically weren't talking, right, about the A picture. great stuff, right? Like Wizard of Oz or something like this from Zero. But instead, you were talking about the serial. How was the cliffhanger going to resolve? How were they going to get back? Let's head out. So then you would go to the second half, a few more shorts. The big picture, oftentimes maybe 70 or 80 hours, 80 minutes rather, 80 hours. That'd be a long movie, right? Sometimes even an hour or a little less, and that sort of a thing. Another couple of shorts, and then the last, the serials, and then you would head home, right? So these serials were the water cooler talk of the time, and everybody would go to these pictures. All the community would show up. Your families, your friends, your college, your school workers. If you're in a school, the church, your work, and that sort of a thing. And it was the water cooler talk, if you will, of the day before that phrase became popular. Many serials in this era sold so much money from. And I've checked out a lot of them for you folks over the last few months. Check it out too. Like Flash Gordon and that sort of heavily influential in Star Wars and that sort of stuff too. I've done some superhero stuff, and now I'm doing the Zorro series too. I've also recently done the Tarzan stuff too. And the first 2 seasons of Doctor Who from the 60s are also serials too, on the TV side of the things. Alright, so there you are. So if you like those things, definitely check out that stuff. Yes, I on Monday I do reviews of older RPGs and war games. Right now, I'm doing our role-playing modules from Dungeons and Dragons and that sort of thing. I just did UK1 Beyond the Crystal Cave, and next will be UK2 and UK3. I'm going to be doing that series. It's first edition series, and it's set in Greyhawk. Great stuff, lots. And then I do on Wednesday something I call Video Game Wednesday of older things. Right now I just did Fallout 1 a couple days ago, so check it out too. And then I'll start I'm going to do Fallout Tactics, Fallout New Vegas, right? Not just Fallout 76, not just the ones that are Fallout 1 through 4, so check it out too. And it's going to be the whole series. I've also recently done the Baldur's Gate series, as well as Elden Ring from a few years ago too, 2022. So check that stuff out if I like it too. I also do some Let's Plays. Right now I'm doing Evil Genius Let's Plays from 2004. So if you can check that stuff out too. And then also, I do 3 reviews a week of things that you read in the books, novels, like novels or short stories, novellas too. And then also poems and prose poems occasionally too. So if all in the older things in the 3 genres that we cover in this channel: science fiction, fantasy, and horror. So if those 7 older reviews a week sound like your cup of tea, then great. Welcome to the channel and have a seat. I think you'll enjoy your time here. Take your shoes off too. I don't even wear them. Alrighty, so there you are. And while you're here, why not do the YouTube stuff, like hit the subscribe button, the like button, the bell icon, to be notified of those 7 videos, and then also let your friends know, share and watch. Those are the cute ways to grow the channel. Alrighty, so there you are. As you can tell from those older things, it's the passion of the show. It's even where its name comes from. The worst thing about new books. It's a quote by a French philosopher, Jacques Joubert, who said that the worst thing about them was they kept us from reading the old ones, right? So there's definitely some older stuff we might have forgotten about, and our passion for the new stuff, right? In the new movies, in this case, the new video games, new books, right? And a passion for the new stuff, we have forgotten that these things are standing on the shoulders of giants. It's not that they're bad, they're not. But in our passion for the new stuff, we've forgotten it. Also, number 1 strength in Strengths Quest, the positive psychology approach to personality types is all about learning something more. I appreciate it more, so I'm a big fan, for example, of Star Wars and that sort of thing. And I appreciate that more when I see Flash. It's heavily influential, and you can see it all more. Make sense? All right, so there you are. I want to thank you so very, very much for just taking some time out of your day and investing and watching my videos, right? Because we all have so many things that are happening in our lives, and we're pulled in so many different directions too, right? So the fact that you spent this time with me, that's incredibly humbling, and I appreciate that so very, very much. So thanks again, and have an amazing day.